We are back, guys. Another one-on-one interview. Big thanks to everybody who showed their support along the way. We're joined today, fresh off of a win in his hometown of Rochester, New York. A guy that's knocking on that top 15 ranked lightweights in the UFC, Desmond Green. Desmond, what's going on?
Hey guy, what's up, man? I'm just chilling, bro. Just chilling. Glad to be on the show.
Good stuff, man. I appreciate it. Well, as we talked about there, you had your last win in your hometown over Charles Jourdain. Just talk us through what it's like fighting in front of your friends, your family, and in your hometown.
Man, it's electrifying to say the least. I can't even put it in a word, dude. It's just amazing. I thought that, it wasn't gonna be no pressure, and it really wasn't until I got in there in that gate locked, and when they called my name, this crowd just went crazy. I was just like, man, my heart started going crazy. Now I was like, oh, so this is what it's like to fight, at home, like, have the whole town behind you. Being from New York, I never fought, but it just became legal a couple years ago. So, I had got about 30 fights. I'm always usually the guy coming into somebody else's hometown. So, it just felt good, and it was just energetic, electrifying.
Yeah, and I went back and I started kind of looking through all of your fights and seeing where all of your fights had been to kind of see where the closest you had fought was, and looking through it was crazy. You fought in five different countries: Brazil, Russia, Canada, the Netherlands, and now of course the United States. Do you enjoy traveling when it comes to fighting, or now that you have fought at home, is that something that you'd be looking forward to more often?
No, I honestly I enjoy traveling, doing it. Especially when I travel when I'm fighting, it's on company's dime, so I get to visit the world and get paid to visit the world, basically. And I'm always a gamer. I always like to go in and fight whoever thinks they're better than me, whoever people think is better than me. So, to me, it's a challenge and it's also rewarding. So, I don't mind. I still go out of the country.
Yeah, and even if you do look at your training, there was a time in which you were training at TriStar, and I know there was kind of a funny story because it wasn't a bad ending to your relationship in which led you over to Hard Knocks 365. I was reading about it and it was kind of saying maybe a border and blunt mix up that led to you maybe having to rethink where you were training.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was loving it. I was over in Tri-Town for about a year, and that's a good explanation. Blunt and border issues. I got caught bringing some weed over. Not even just some personal use. I'm a heavy smoker, so I got caught. I have like a gram or something on me, and they weren't too happy about that. So they kind of I didn't get in trouble for it. They just told me I wasn't allowed back until I had to write a write somebody and pay a fine or something. So it's not like I can never go back. I can go back, but as of right now, until I fix the status, yeah, they weren't letting me in. So I had to, because of that, I had to change up camps. But it all happened for a reason. After that, I got down in Florida, went to visit, ended up moving here, and I'm with one of the best camps ever. I love Tri-Side, nothing but love for Tri-Side. But for me, if they move, I got kids and everything. It's just it's more easier to move my family here than out the country.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was
But
gonna.
I definitely do want to go back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to touch on. I had seen that you've mentioned in the past that you would never rule out going back to TriStar at some point, but like you said, I think you can enjoy the sunny aspects of Florida rather than you would the cold aspects of Montreal, and being closer to your family. That's obviously going to be something that weighs heavy into it. You mentioned there that now you're training at one of those top gyms and Hard Knocks 365. You're breeding some absolute beasts there. I mean, you've got yourself, Vincent Luque, Robbie Lawler, of course, champion Kamaru Usman. What's it been like making that transition and kind of really building a gym of, like I said, beasts in Florida?
Oh man, it's lovely. I love it. Especially me being so competitive. Like the guys you just named are all heavy hitters, and there's so much more. Like Gilbert Durino, Michael Johnson, Nick Lentz. I mean, literally the list goes on. Like we're deep there, so it's good because we all make each other better. We're every day we go into practice, we're competing with each other. That saying, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And when I was trying to pick out the names that I was going to mention and saying who's all there, like you said, it was tough because the list does go on and on of who you're able to train
Yeah.
there with. So um, does if you do going back to it, you did mention there you're a heavy user of cannabis and a heavy and you're often in maybe in
For
that
sure.
realm of life. What's it been like now over the last couple of years as we've kind of seen that become more of an acceptable way, whether it be CBD use or whether it is smoking out of competition or use out of competition? What's that been like for you, and has that kind of made your life maybe easier or less stressful in terms of having to plan things out?
Oh yeah, man, a whole lot less stressful. Now, like you said, the last 3 years they changed the rules so much on marijuana. Like, now you can even use it in competition. Like, they've raised the level to like 150 nanograms. So, I usually don't stop smoking until about a week out from the fight. When before it used to have to be like almost a month. So, me, like, like weed it's not even a drug to me; it's medicine. So I like the new rules, and like you said, it makes it a lot less stressful for me.
Yeah, if you go further back in your career, even like your university days at the University of Buffalo, Division 1 wrestler removed for the team from the team for cannabis use, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's the last senior year. I kept getting tested, so I was like, yo, I felt a couple, but I was ranked, I think, like number 8 in the nation my junior year, and so I'm like, I'm doing all these things right, and y'all mad about some weed? I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll just go about my own way. I knew I wanted to fight, so yeah, that was I had to part ways with them because of the cannabis too.
Yeah, and exactly nowadays we've seen it. I even heard Nate Diaz was talking the other day, and he was sarcastically saying, "UFC, thank me now because now I've gotten you guys this massive sponsorship deal with CBD companies." And it's something that when you do talk to, and you're even looking at fighters' social media, it's something that you often see them promoting, something that the UFC and mixed martial arts has kind of embraced now, as opposed to pushing away.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy how how like you said how their whole look and stance on THC and CBD has changed. It's great. I like it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And like I mentioned at the beginning there, you're somebody who you're right there. You're at the cusp of kind of getting into the top 15, becoming a ranked fighter. And if you go back and you do look at your history and your lineage of fights there, you've got some big wins. Like even if you look your first pro fight, a win over Rob Font, who's ranked. He's got an upcoming fight. You look at your first UFC
Yeah,
fight, you got a win over Josh Emmett. Guy's a top 10 ranked opponent. Your last two fights, you're 2-0 against a UFC veteran Ross Pearson, and then highly touted prospect in Charles Jourdain. Is that what you're looking for in your next fight? Is something that's going to get you to be able to crack into that top 15?
oh yeah, definitely. I was talking to my man, so I definitely want somebody, in that top 15, top 20 area. Cause like I said, I fought in the toughest competition. I've beaten the toughest guys. So, I just want that shot to prove my worth. I think it's gonna be coming soon.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to mention right after that was in the last couple of days, even if we look in the last 24 hours, there's been a bunch of fights being announced with the announcement of the card in September in Vancouver. They're starting to throw some fights onto that one. Today they just kind of finalized the San Antonio card, getting a main event in Leon Edwards and Rafael dos Anjos. So we're seeing fights being announced. Is there something brewing, something in the works that we're going to hear out of you pretty quick?
No, not yet. I still got this injury on my elbow, so we're thinking probably like July, August.
Okay.
So something soon, but we'll be waiting and see. I told Sean I'll be ready anytime after July, so hopefully a couple months he'll find something for me.
Right on, good stuff. And I was going to ask you about your elbow. I know in your last post, in your post fight of your win in May, you had said that your elbow was real sore, and as your adrenaline was coming down, you were like, the pain is going up significantly. What was the outcome of that? What was the doctor's decision on what had happened to you?
I had a high grade tear in like my ulnar ligament in my elbow, so just some rehab.
Yeah, and is the rehab process still something that are you still going through much more of a rehab process than you are in maybe a training process? Are you back to training pretty hard or no?
Uh, not yet. Maybe a couple weeks. I'll get the training higher. It's more rehab now.
Right on, good stuff. And Desmond, just a couple more here. One thing, at 5'10", you're not huge for your division, but in no way are you small, and you have had a handful of catchweight fights over your career. Do you see yourself kind of being an advocate of maybe increasing the divisions, whether it be a 165 division, however they may be changing the divisions? Is that something that you think the UFC should be looking at?
No, I'm big, but I'm light. I walk around at like 165. I fight up, those catchweight fights just because, I'm a beast like that. I don't think nobody can see me, but I don't really walk around at over a buck 65. Like even right now, I'm probably under that. So, I think I'm a true 155 pounder.
Right on. And Desmond, last, we'll just kind of wrap it up with this one. I've been chatting with a few guys lately, and it's always interesting to me the variety of answers that you hear when asked this question. It's like when you are outside of competition, are you watching UFC? Are you following MMA? I know this weekend there's a big Bellator card with a lot of big names on it. Every weekend there seems to be something that if you're an MMA fan, it kind of grasps your attention. Are you somebody who does follow closely to what's going on?
Oh yeah, for sure. I love it. I love watching it. I watch all of the cards, even outside the UFC, like Bellator, even some of the ones on Fight Pass. So yeah, I love it. I don't really watch any other sports besides fighting.
Good stuff. Is there anything? Is there anything? What did you think of UFC 238? Where there was obviously some shocking headlines that came out of that one. Some big fights. Was there anything that stood out for you?
No, they were all pretty good fights. I thought all of them went the way they did. I guess some of them was the way they did. I was happy my boy Aljamain won. Good fashion.
Yeah, and if you do look ahead at maybe the next couple months, is there anything that stands out as something that you're really looking forward to seeing?
Nah, not really. All of the fights, man. Any fight.
Yeah, just waiting to get healthy so that you can have your name out there. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, Desmond, again, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a busy guy. You're a father. You're somebody who's recovering from an injury. You're just trying to continue on and train. So, like I said, I appreciate you taking the time and thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing what's next for you. And hopefully we can chat again.
No problem. Thanks, bro.
Awesome, man. That is Desmond Green.